Here is the complete script in English. Belly fat reduction, the simple plan. Most people believe that belly fat grows simply because you eat too much. Eat less, the belly shrinks. That is the common thinking. But today, I am going to tell you something that very few people actually know. I have been seeing patients for over 20 years. And again, I watch the same thing happen. People who starve themselves, people who cut out bread completely, people who exercise every day, and their belly still does not move. Why? Because belly fat is not just a calories problem. It is a hormones problem. It is an insulin problem. It is a sleep problem. It is a gut health problem. All of these things together hold the belly in place. And until you understand all of them, no diet in the world will work the way you want it to. I remember one patient, 63 years old, a gentleman I will call Mr. Ralph. He had been eating less for 4 years. He had completely given up sweets. And yet his belly was exactly where it had always been. When we did a full evaluation, we found insulin resistance, a slightly underactive thyroid, and disrupted sleep every single night. Fixing one thing was never going to be enough. We needed a complete plan. Today, I am going to give you that plan. 9 steps. Every step is backed by science, every step is simple, and every step can be applied at home starting today. Please stay with me until the end, because the last 2 steps are the ones people ignore the most. And they happen to be the most important of all. Let us be, guys. Step number 1. First, understand, this fat is not ordinary. You look at your belly and think it is just a little extra fat, a small inconvenience that will sort itself out eventually. But that thinking is the first mistake. The common belief is that belly fat is purely a cosmetic problem. It looks bad, nothing more. But the truth is that the fat stored deep inside your abdomen, what doctors call visceral fat, is packed between your internal organs, around the liver, around the stomach, nestled between the intestines. And this fat does not just sit there quietly. It works, constantly. Visceral fat releases chemicals into your bloodstream that create inflammation, that increase insulin resistance, that push blood pressure higher, that throw your cholesterol out of balance. This fat is a silent factory running day and night, manufacturing damage inside you while you go about your life. Think of it this way. Imagine a hidden industrial plant operating inside your body, producing substances that corrode your arteries, stress your heart, strain your liver, and destabilize your blood sugar. You look fine on the outside, but the factory is running on the inside. Research consistently shows that having excessive visceral fat is more dangerous than simply having a high body weight. A person can be at a normal weight and still be at serious risk from diabetes and heart disease because of the fat concentrated around their midsection. Today's actionable step: measure your waist, not your weight, your waist. For men, above 90 centimeters is the danger zone. For women, above 80 centimeters. This number is your real indicator. Write it down and track it as you apply these steps. Step number 2, change when you eat, not just what you eat. Now, what I am about to say is something many people resist hearing. But this is established science, not opinion. Most people believe that reducing belly fat is entirely about what you eat. Cut the bread, cut the rice, cut the ghee, avoid fat. That is the conventional thinking. But research has proven repeatedly that how you eat and when you eat matters just as much. Your body runs on a 24-hour internal clock called the circadian rhythm. In the morning hours, your insulin sensitivity is at its highest, meaning your body is most efficient at converting food into energy at this time. As the day moves toward evening, that ability gradually declines. Food eaten late at night does not convert to energy. It stores. It goes directly into fat, and specifically into the fat around your belly. Think of your metabolism like a government office. First thing in the morning, it is fully staffed and processing everything efficiently. By midday, it is still running well. But after 5 in the evening, capacity drops. Whatever paperwork arrives late gets left in a pile until the next day. That pile is what accumulates around your waistline. Studies have shown that people who confine their eating to a window of 8 to 10 hours, say from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening, lost measurable amounts of belly fat without counting a single calorie. Starting tonight, finish your evening meal by 7 o'clock. And tomorrow morning, do not eat anything before 8 or 9. This simple boundary gives your insulin levels the entire night to reset. You will feel a difference within 1 week. Step number 3, understand insulin. This is the real gateway. Pay close attention to this step because it is the most important piece of the entire picture. Every time you eat, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin signals your cells to absorb glucose from the bloodstream and convert it into energy. This works perfectly when the system is healthy. But when you repeatedly consume large amounts of sugar, refined flour, and processed food, the cells become exhausted. They begin to ignore insulin's signal. This is insulin resistance. When insulin resistance develops, your pancreas responds by producing even more insulin, thinking that a louder signal will eventually get through. And this excess insulin is precisely what locks fat inside your body. The higher your insulin levels, the more aggressively fat gets stored, and the most favored storage location is the belly. Here is a simple way to understand it. Insulin is like a key that unlocks a door. When everything is working correctly, the key turns smoothly, the door opens, glucose enters the cell, and energy is produced. But when insulin resistance sets in, the key no longer fits properly. You keep turning it, the door stays shut, and the glucose waiting outside gets converted to fat and stored away. Research indicates that the majority of adults over the age of 60 have some degree of insulin resistance, even those without a diabetes diagnosis. And this insulin resistance is directly linked to the accumulation of belly fat. The most powerful dietary change you can make right now is reducing refined carbohydrates. White flour products, white rice, biscuits, packaged snacks, soft drinks, all of these spike insulin sharply and repeatedly. Replace them with lentils, vegetables, whole grains, and plain yogurt. These foods keep insulin slow and stable, and when insulin is stable, the body begins releasing stored fat rather than hoarding it. Step number 4, do not ignore protein. It is your greatest ally. This is a step that people over the age of 60 commonly abandon, and it is one of their most costly mistakes. As people age, many believe they should simply eat less of everything. Less oil, less meat, less dairy, just vegetables and light food. The belly will shrink on its own. This thinking is not entirely wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. When you reduce protein intake, your body begins breaking down muscle tissue to meet its own needs. And here is the problem. The less muscle you have, the slower your metabolism runs. And the slower your metabolism, the more aggressively fat gets stored. This is a cycle, and it is often the precise reason why people in their 60s follow diets faithfully and their belly never moves. Think of protein as the raw building material your body needs. Like bricks used to construct a house, your body requires protein to build and maintain muscle, produce hormones, and manufacture the enzymes that drive your metabolism. If you stop supplying bricks, the existing structure begins to crumble, and the empty space gets filled with fat. Studies show that adults over 60 should be consuming approximately 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight each day. Those who consistently meet this target maintain both better body composition and measurably less belly fat than those who do not. Starting today, include these in your meals: 2 eggs at breakfast, lentils or chicken at lunch, plain yogurt or cottage cheese at dinner. These straightforward additions bring your protein intake to where it needs to be. When muscle is preserved, metabolism stays active and fat loses its grip. Step number 5, stress, has a direct connection to your belly. I want you to pause here for a moment and honestly ask yourself, are you carrying significant stress in your life right now? Worry about family, concern about finances, health anxiety, difficulty sleeping at night? If yes, write the word yes in the comments right now. And if this information has been helpful, please share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because what I'm about to tell you is something very few people connect to their belly fat. When you experience stress or tension, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol's job is to prepare the body for emergency. It raises blood sugar, accelerates the heartbeat, and mobilizes stored energy. This is useful when the threat is occasional and physical. But when stress becomes a daily, ongoing condition, cortisol stays elevated, day after day, week after week. And where does cortisol direct the body to store fat? Directly into the belly. This is an evolutionary design. In ancient times, energy needed to be stored close to the body's core for quick access during emergencies. But in today's world, where stress is mental and emotional rather than physical, this same system works against you. Cortisol runs high, and the belly grows larger as a result. Think of cortisol as an alarm bell. If it rings once, it does its job and stops. But if that alarm bell rings continuously, 24 hours a day, it stops being useful and starts causing damage. The growing belly is a visible sign of that damage accumulating over time. Research shows that adults living with chronic stress carry significantly more visceral fat than those who actively manage their stress levels, even when both groups consume the same number of calories. The hormone, not the food, is driving the fat storage. Tonight, do this one thing. Sit in complete quiet for 10 minutes before bed. No phone, no television, simply breathe. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 6 counts. This specific breathing technique measurably lowers cortisol and improves sleep quality. Do it every single night without exception. Step number 6. Without complete sleep, belly fat cannot reduce pay. Close attention to this step because it is the secret that nearly every diet plan completely ignores. Most people believe that weight management is entirely a daytime activity. What you eat, how much you move, how disciplined you are during waking hours. What does sleep have to do with belly fat? The answer is everything. When you sleep fewer than 6 hours, 2 critical hormones shift in the wrong direction simultaneously. Ghrelin, the hormone that triggers hunger, rises sharply. Leptin, the hormone that signals your brain that you have eaten enough, falls. The result is that after a poor night of sleep, you will feel hungry all day, you will not feel satisfied even after eating, and you will consume more food than your body actually needs. And that excess goes directly to the belly. Think of sleep as a nighttime factory that handles all of the body's repair work: rebuilding cells, balancing hormones, clearing waste from the brain, and resetting the metabolism. If that factory shuts down early or runs at reduced capacity every night, the entire production system falls behind. Fat accumulates because the metabolic reset never fully happens. Studies have demonstrated that people who consistently sleep 7 to 8 hours per night lost measurable belly fat over time without making any significant dietary changes, simply by fixing their sleep. Beginning tonight, set a fixed bedtime and stick to it. Wake at the same time every morning. Keep your bedroom dark and cool. Put your phone down 1 hour before sleep. And if you regularly find yourself unable to sleep despite trying, speak with your doctor. Sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops during the night, is a hidden and extremely common cause of persistent belly fat that goes undetected for years. Step number 7. Learn the right way to drink water. This seems like a small topic, but let me tell you, I have seen patients in my clinic whose belly fat began to budge simply from correcting how they drink water. Nothing else changed. Most people think water is water. Drink enough of it and you are covered. And those who are more health conscious think that 8 glasses a day is the standard and they are meeting it. But how much you drink matters less than when and how you drink it. When you drink water before eating, it partially fills the stomach, which naturally reduces how much food you consume at the meal. It also improves the insulin response to that meal, and your metabolism itself requires adequate water to function. Dehydration measurably slows metabolic rate in the same way that an engine slows down and overheats when its cooling system runs low. Think of your metabolism as an engine and water as its coolant. When coolant levels are sufficient, the engine runs at full speed, burning fuel efficiently. When coolant runs low, the engine slows itself down as a protective response. Fat stops being burned because the metabolic engine has reduced its own speed to avoid overheating. Research has shown that simply drinking 1 full glass of water 20 to 30 minutes before each meal with no other dietary changes reduced food intake measurably and produced gradual but consistent weight loss over time in study participants. Starting today, do this one thing. Drink 1 large glass of water 20 to 30 minutes before every meal. Not tea, not coffee, water. 3 times a day. 1 week of consistency, and you will notice a difference in how much you naturally want to eat. Step number 8. Walking is your most powerful medicine. Now, many people will hear this and think, yes, we know, exercise is important. But wait, what I'm about to tell you may be something you have genuinely never heard before. Most people believe that to reduce belly fat, they need to go to a gym, run long distances, or perform intense physical exercise. And many people over 60 abandon this idea entirely because they feel they cannot manage it. But science says something quite different. The most effective exercise for reducing visceral belly fat is this: 30 minutes of walking at a moderate pace every day. Not running, not a gym, just walking. Because when you walk at a moderate pace, your body uses fat, not glucose, as its primary fuel source. It directly burns belly fat. But there is a specific technique that makes this even more powerful. Walk after eating. If you walk for just 10 to 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes after a meal, you prevent the blood sugar spike that normally follows eating. You keep insulin stable, and you stop food from being converted directly to fat before the body has a chance to use it. Think of your meal as a guest who has just arrived at your home. If you seat that guest immediately on the sofa and leave them there, they will not move. They will settle in and stay. But if after the meal you take a short walk, that guest gets put to work, becoming energy rather than stored fat. Studies show that people who walk for even 10 minutes after eating have post-meal blood sugar levels approximately 30% lower than those who sit down immediately after their meal. And over time, this single habit reduces visceral fat faster than almost any other lifestyle change. Tonight, after your evening meal, walk for 10 minutes. Inside your home if necessary, just 10 minutes. Make this a non-negotiable nightly routine. Step number 9. Clean your liver. This is the most hidden culprit. And this final step is the most important one. I need your full attention here. Most people associate liver problems exclusively with alcohol. They think, I do not drink, so my liver is fine. But when I tell patients that in today's world, 1 in every 3 adults has some degree of fatty liver disease, caused not by alcohol, but by refined flour, sugar, and processed food, they are genuinely shocked. And fatty liver disease has a direct, measurable connection to belly fat. When the liver becomes congested with fat, it cannot perform its functions properly. And one of the liver's most critical functions is controlling fat metabolism. It decides whether dietary fat gets stored or burned. When liver efficiency drops, fat routes directly to the belly for storage. It is a damaging cycle. A fatty liver causes more belly fat, and more belly fat places greater strain on the liver in return. Think of your liver as a water treatment plant. When the plant operates properly, everything gets filtered, waste is cleared, and clean processed material flows through the system. But when the plant becomes overloaded, too much input, too little capacity, filtration fails, toxins remain in the system, fat accumulates, the whole body suffers downstream effects. Research confirms that individuals with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease have dramatically higher levels of visceral fat and insulin resistance compared to those with healthy liver function. And 3 specific interventions have been shown to improve liver health measurably and relatively quickly: reducing refined sugar, increasing water intake, and one particular supplement, turmeric. Turmeric contains curcumin, which actively reduces liver inflammation. Every morning, mix half a teaspoon of turmeric and a small pinch of black pepper into a glass of warm water and drink it. Black pepper increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. This is a small daily habit with a significant impact on liver function. Do it consistently for 30 days. When the liver begins working properly again, belly fat begins to reduce on its own, because the body's fat processing system has been restored. Let me briefly bring all 9 steps together for you. Step 1. Take your belly fat seriously. It is causing internal damage right now. Step 2. Fix your eating window. Keep meals within 8 to 10 hours. Step 3. Control insulin by eliminating refined carbohydrates. Step 4. Protect your protein intake and preserve your muscle. Step 5. Manage stress and bring cortisol under control. Step 6. Sleep fully because hormone balance begins here. Step 7. Drink water before meals, every single time. Step 8. Walk after eating, even for 10 minutes. And step 9. Begin cleaning your liver today with turmeric and water. No single step is the complete solution. All 9 work together as a system. This is a set of habits, a new way of understanding and working with your body rather than fighting against it. I think about Mr. Ralph often. When he followed this approach for 90 days, just 90 days, his waist reduced by 5 inches. His blood sugar improved significantly. His sleep stabilized, and he told me that 2 years of starving himself had done nothing, but 3 months of working with the right system had changed everything. Because this time he was addressing the right problems. Start tonight. Just 3 things. Finish your meal by 7 o'clock. Drink a glass of warm turmeric water tomorrow morning and walk for 10 minutes after dinner. That is all for the first week. The rest will begin to align naturally. Please share this video with at least one person who is struggling with belly fat, whether in your family, your neighborhood, or among your friends. You may be the reason they finally find something that works. And if you want to continue receiving practical, evidence-based health guidance every week, subscribe right now. Take care of yourself. Your belly fat can be reduced. Your health can genuinely improve. You simply need to walk in the right direction.